Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. It's Angela the Traveling Crafter, and we are going to do a very easy, very fast journal card or tuck project. I think it's kind of fun, and it's something that I saw. This has been a long time ago, and I can't remember whose channel it was I saw it on, but it was a very long time ago. And I was looking through my templates and decided to whip some of those up. But I wanted to show you real quick. Before we do that, I'll just give you a little, what did I do in my traveling craft adventures? Well, the answer is not a whole lot. But in my last trip, I did do a little fussy cutting and a little chroma collage. If you don't know what chroma collage is, it's just something that I came up with when I created some things that you'll see in just a second, and I love doing them, and I bet you will too. But this one was just out. I've got this really cool book in my traveling tote, and I use it quite a bit because of the images. But this one was a bigger image, and I thought it would be cool to do just kind of a flip out as an actual page and then journal. I just put this magazine or book page onto just a sheet of white drawing paper, and that was all there was to it. But I really like how cute that is. And then this one, it just was a piece of newspaper that was hanging out there. It's kind of a dude thing. I need to, of course, trim it up and stuff, but I just glued that on. Nothing exciting. This was this is just a piece of scrapbook paper. This is a piece from the salvage end of a fabric. This was the fabric that I used. And this, I believe, was from maybe a Flow magazine, I think. And I just made this as an over-the-top thing. And then I made a few little chroma collage. So when I talk about chroma collage, a lot of times when I do these, it is maybe a black and white photo with book or children's book page images, things like that. This is all in color, of course, because the book that I had, it was a magazine. I can't remember. It was a design magazine. So this was a little kitchen scene. So I added this from the reader with the little birthday cake, and she's putting birthday candles on it. And then I kind of just tucked her in there and put a little saying from the book from that page. Now, this is an over-the-top one, too. I do need to back all of these because I didn't do that yet. This one is called The Birthday Cake. It's the same little girl and her mama in a kitchen. So the background was from a magazine and the top from a children's reader. I just think they're so cute, very whimsical, kind of tongue-in-cheek because they're not meant to be in scale, you know. This is called The Toy Boat. And it was a cute little image in the reader of these three little kids together. And I had this picture of a bathroom, a little vintage-looking bathroom. And so I just popped all of that in there as if they were playing in the bathtub. And this is funny because this is a Louis Vuitton little makeup bag, and he's leaning on it. I thought that was funny. Excuse me. This one is probably one of my favorites. So these little boys and girls are talking about the television. And so this was a design page of a library / living room. And it says, come in, said Nan. Come in and see what we have. We have something new in here. I can make it work, said Jack. Get ready for some fun now. And they're talking about their new television. This one was... I don't know what they were doing in the photo or in the actual book, but I cut them out so it looked like the little puppy was trying to save the little kitty cat from this little window. All of this is from the same magazine. This is also one of my favorites. So the little cowboy lost his hat. Now, the way that this image was, this was the end of like the outdoors with the donkey, and then this is like a rug. but I thought, I'm just going to embrace it. So this was from a different page. I put the little puppy on there. This is actually from this magazine, and it was a girl sitting there. And I didn't think it looked right the way that I had it. Oh, because there's a lady standing behind, next to this donkey. And so I covered her up with the horse and then her legs up with this to make it look like they were on a little, maybe a little picnic, because he's got a little blankie on him. So like I said, see, it doesn't really make sense all the time, but it's just cute. And I'll use these for a variety of things. Now this is a little over the top. We got a rogue rooster, a little puppy. He was just a scrap. I know you can't see it very well, but that's a little child on a horse. The little cow creamer, and then we've got some kids climbing up the ladder towards the top of this compressed air sprayer. Now, is this something that I can use in a journal? Well, possibly. So if I were to hinge this, I could use it. Or if I had a large enough journal, which I do have some that are pretty tall, I could use it. So I just thought it looked cute, and I was killing time while I was playing Hazel. Do you remember that show, Hazel? She was the maid. Yeah, well, I was cleaning our rental. And so I was waiting for clothes to dry. So I thought, well, I'm just going to do a little crafting while I'm at it. And this is one thing that I came up with. So this, when I made this, no, that's the extra piece. When I made this little perpetual journal card, I made it so that that it was relatively small. But so this one was 8 by 8 or 10 by 10. I think 10 by 10. But for the sake of this, so you guys can really see how to make these, we're going to do one that is 10 by 10, and then we'll do one that's 12 by 12. So this one is already, I wanted you to see this so that you could see how I did this. And this is, I'm sure that this is what I learned from whomever the tutorial was that I followed. I think her name was Jen, but I don't remember for sure. Anyway, you're basically just going to fold your paper into each other, into itself over and over until we get our 16 squares, right? So let me show you with the large piece first, and then we'll make this one and the other one. But it's really pretty easy. Actually, let's cut this down because I want you to see how I did. You'll still be able to see it. Let's cut this down to 10 by 10. So, and these are just single-sided. I mean, you could use double-sided. I just used what I had. So I'm just going to cut this 12 by 12 piece down to 10 by 10. And the reason I want to do this is because we're going to use this in just a second. And this will solve our problems with having, if it's a problem, with having a one-sided paper. So I'm just going to take this long piece and I'm going to cut these at 2 inches. And I'm going to do this because I know that at 10 by 10, when I start folding my paper, they'll be 2-inch squares. So think of them as twinchies. And there we go. Oh, I hope that's 2 by 2. All right. Well, yeah, it should be. Okay. So now what we are going to do is we are going to, doesn't matter which way you start, we're going to fold this in half. We're going to call this landscape-wise. Okay. And you know what? To do this so that you guys can see it, I'm just going to do this as we go. All right. So we folded it in half. I do have an easier way to do this instead of how I'm doing it right now, but that's okay. I mean, inking-wise. Okay, so it's folded this way, right? So now we want to fold it the opposite way. So now we have basically 4. What are these, 6 by 6? They should, or 4 by 4. Nope, 5 by 5. Okay, dokie. That makes sense. You do not have to ink this. I'm just doing it because I remember that the video that I watched, she did that, and it made it so much easier for to actually see. All right, so you folded it in half. Now you're just going to fold it in again, both ways. Like that. I'm just going to keep folding it, and then well, no, I'm not, because if I don't, it might get confusing if I don't just do it the right way. Okay, so now we've taken those 4 and we've now folded them again, and we just need to zhuzh these up so you can see them. Hopefully this isn't confusing. I'll go through the folds again once we get it all folded. Okay. Now we have 8 rectangles, and so now we are going to fold this into itself again. And we should end up with exactly what we need. Go. Oops. I like this paper. This is from the paper studio, so it must be, I think I got this when I was, I don't know where I got it. Maybe well, it must be Hobby Lobby because that's their brand. All right, we're done inking. Now remember, you do not have to ink when you do this, but that way you can see it. All right, there you have it. So what we did is we folded it in half. Then we turned it the other way and we folded it in half. Then we opened it up. We folded it into itself this way. And we opened it up and we folded it into itself that way. And that's all there is to it. There you have it. Now what we're going to do is fold the entire piece in half back to itself, just like where we started. And essentially what you're going to do is you're cutting out all 4 of these squares. So also, this is a great way if you want to create a frame, you can do so this way. So you're just going to cut these 4 out. We're just saving time by cutting them all at once. Okay. We can save this one. We could use these for the inside of it too. These might not be. This might be bigger. I don't remember. Okay. There we go. Now I want I'm trying to think how I want this to go. I want all of these to come this way so that it looks similar to this. So that the florals are on the outside, okay? It's as easy as this, friends. Let me put my water over here so I don't spill anything. You're going to glue here and you're going to glue right here. Opposite ends. That easy. What we want to have happen is that these other pieces are just going to be loose so it continues to flip and fold. And oh gosh, I wish I could remember what channel that was. But what I do remember is, I think the gal had a child who was non-speaking. And so I think she made these and put like signs on them, or maybe smiley faces, or, you know, for moods, so that the little boy could tell his mom how he was feeling, is what I remember. I might be making that up, but that's what I remember. Okay, so now you've got these 2 together. These are the only 2 things that are glued. This is all loosey-goosey. Take your paper and turn it this way. Now, you don't need to do that when you're gluing it, but for this example, I want you guys to be able to see and not get confused. So now, because I'm easily confused, now we're just going to glue this one and this one And I don't use very much, I'm not using very much Fabri-Tac. Oh, speaking of Fabri-Tac, while you're here, let me share this little tidbit. So I had to run to Hobby Lobby. I'm not one of the big, I don't really do a whole lot. Unless I happen to be there because of, for some other reason, and they have clearance stuff, then I'll go. But I'm not one of those people that goes running every time Hobby Lobby has a huge clearance. I don't know why. I just haven't. But I needed to get a couple of things for the house. I was in Mason City, and for the lake house. And I needed to get a blade for my Fiskars trimmer that I have up there, because it's seen its better days. So I went in there to get that, and I happened to be walking by the back rack, and I thought I was dreaming, but lo and behold, there were 3 bottles of Fabri-Fix. Now, I use Fabri-Tac, but Fabri-Fix is pretty much the same thing. And it was normally like $10 or $10.99, I think, for $4.99. Of course, I grabbed all 3 of them. So I couldn't believe it. So be on the lookout for those things, just as we're talking about glue. All right, so we're done. We have now made our journal card. So it goes this way, and then it opens that way, and then it opens this way. But we don't want to leave this like it is. So I've got the 4 little ones that we'll put on one side. And we have these bigger ones. Let's just try to cut these out and see if we can make them fit, because we do have the branding on that one. So on this one, I used the little ones. I just kind of like that look. But these are the bigger ones. So we'll see if we can make them fit without getting stuck on themselves. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do so that I am assured that they actually work. I'm just going to cut right on the inside of where I distressed it. Now, that if you wanted, you could go back then and distress again, which might make it look kind of cute, which is more work. But I just don't want it to be getting stuck on there. So let's do that first really quick to all 4 of these. And I'm just taking off just a smidgy. There we go. Oh, gosh. That one got... Oopsie. Well, this one's going to be a little bit... This might be a little bit smaller than the other ones because I just... My scissors slipped. All right. I hope you guys are all having a fantabulous day today. I'm not sure when I'm going to actually be posting this, as per usual, because I am very behind. I need 24 hours more a day. That's what would be helpful. So if you know how I can make that happen, let me know. All right, whoops. We are going to just use the glue stick and my glue mat. Some of you have asked me before. Ooh, this is stiff. About using just book pages to glue on, and some people do that. I do not. I just found I don't need that much more paper in my life, and I don't need all those scraps. So it was easier for me to just use one of these mats, and these are from Dollar Tree, and they work fantastic. And then when they get really old and cruddy and I can't clean them anymore, then I find another use for them, or they get thrown in the garbage. Some of them I use to, like, when I'm cutting some of my chroma collage. And so if it's all gluey and icky and I don't care what happens to it, then I'll just use it to cut with or for projects like that. And then when it gets too bad and it doesn't work well to use anymore, I just throw it away. But if you got something else I can repurpose it for after it gets cruddy, then please do tell. There we go. These just pop on there. So we're using that inside of this, even though we didn't have to. But you could put all kinds of fun things. You could put, if you had some square stickers, you could embellish this. The one thing I would probably say, for me anyway, is that I think we're going to leave this one clean, but let's see if we can make this into something that looks more like what happened to my other one? How come I only have 3? That's weird. Oh, there it is. I probably wouldn't put a whole lot. If you want to use this for journal space, then I probably wouldn't put a lot of heavy embellishing on it, you know. But you could also tuck in, if you wanted, in the places that don't flip, but are still, you know, open, so that you know, this is just basically an interactive journal card. Or like it's like an infinity journal card. It just keeps going and going. And it's so easy. What I started to say, which I don't think I finished my sentence, shocker, is this is a good way, this process. Now, you probably don't want to fold it as much as I did, because then you have succinct lines. But that is a good way, just using a square. You need something that's square, just like we did. We did ours 10 by 10. To make a perfect frame. So, oh, shoot. I forgot to ink you. You can tell I don't ink a whole lot. There we go. And I'm not being very careful because I'm not looking right over the thing, so they might not be perfectly even, but it's okay. It's for our junk journals, right? And I think I'll use this lavender color in that no-so kind of shabby lavender journal that I've been working on. It's turning out so cute. Can't wait for it to be done. All right, there we have it. So we got that, and that. Pretty cool. Just keeps going and going. But what I was saying is you could tuck things underneath here too, if you wanted. Make it super cute. Let's finish this one up that we have here. And we're just going to first glue. Now you could use glue stick. I'm not as accurate with my glue stick as I am with Fabri-Tac. And I want to make sure it all gets down really well. So this allows me to get right to the corner. Okay. So remember, we folded it up. We folded it in half. And then we folded it into itself and into itself. Now we've got the glue here and we've got the glue here. We're just oh, shiznit. I forgot to cut it. You guys were yelling at me, weren't you? I was like, well, that's not going to work. We need these. You know what I kind of want to do? I kind of want to do it. Let me try it. Well, I've already got the glue on it, I guess. Because I think if I would have done it the other way, let me see. Maybe I can just wipe it off. I feel like when I did this before, I did it the opposite way. So let's just see if I can wipe off this glue and try it that way and see. Because I felt like more of the design showed when I did it the other way. Thanks for being patient with me and experimenting. Now, these are going to get covered anyway. So, whoops, I lost my... So, the fact that there might be a little glue residue on here, not a big deal. And we have erasers for that. However, your fingers work just fine with this. Okay, let's see what happens when we do it this way. Okay. We are going to start over. And we're going to glue here. I just want to make sure I'm getting the very ends, the very tips of the corners. That's important. And again, oops. Got a little gluage. Let me wipe that off. Zenny's digging to wherever her vacation spot is, I guess. Oh, I don't know about this. All right, well, we're going to see. And this. I don't think I should have done it this way. But it seems like, well, doesn't matter. There's no turning back. I just felt like when I did this before, more of the design showed. I might be making things up in my head. It's quite possible. Yeah. Oh, no. See, I did do it right. Okay. So we have one. That one. Yes. So if you do it this way, you're going to get more of the pattern. Perfect. Now let's just do this. Let's make this a little easier, and let's just trim before we cut each one apart, because that'll save us some time. And then we can cut on either side of the lines. And we'll be done. I'm not going to distress it. This one's a little crooked. All right, now we're just going to glue these on the inside. Now, you may be asking, well, if you want this to be a journal card, why are you putting all this in here? And that would be a great question. But in my opinion, this easily can be written on. You know, you can just use a black pen or something that contrasts, and you can write all over it, and it will be just fine. But this was just for the sake of the tutorial, and I do like digging through my template bin and finding new projects for us to do. Well, not new projects. Most of them I've done already, but it's kind of nice. Do you see what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to get it just kind of loosely, get the pattern lined up. It's not perfect, but that's fine. Everything's fine. See, that one got a little jankety. There we go. This glue, once it gets going, it's great, but when you first open it up, and it's kind of cold in my craft room anyway, but it's kind of hard to, it doesn't have much movement to it. There we go. There's another one done. So there are our infinity, or, hey, that didn't get glued down. Or perpetual journal cards. To infinity and beyond. We turn it that way, and then we open it. turn it this way, and then we open it. Pretty cool. So there's that one. This one might be my favorite. I like the edges around it. So there's that one. And then the last one that we did together is that one. Pretty fun. And then I have all of this extra that I can make something fun with. Some little tags or something that I could just tuck inside of there. There you have it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. And as I always advise you, remember to take a little time for yourself, a little time to just be. And we will see you on the next video. If you're so inclined, give this a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss all of the fun we have over here on the channel. And we will talk to you soon. Cheers.